founders and executive team of Midsummer Scream. Executive Director, David Markland. Producer, Claire Dunlap. And Creative Director, Rick West.
Thank you so much, but really who needs the applause is all the haunters that build stuff in the Hall of Shadows, the 350 plus vendors, all the celebrities who came out to meet you, our over 100 white bat, our volunteer, not volunteer, our whole staff. So if you can, please give a big shout and applause for our white bat crew. We make this all possible. Thank you for coming. Again, I said this at the beginning, I'm still biased. I think this, and I'm not allowed to tell you, but like we already have plans for next year, so we're really excited about them. If Anthony back there who's doing anything can throw up the dates for next year. Oh yeah, a week earlier. So we look forward to seeing you next August here back at the Long Beach Convention Center. Thank you.
Are you ready for Universal? I need Ireland to hear you. Are you ready for Universal? Thank you, Midsummer Scream.
Welcome to Midsummer Scream. Two of the most famous haunt events in the world take place on opposite sides of the U.S., but are bound by 3 letters. HHN. While both events share multiple IPs from year to year, they are both unique in their own right, earning them undying coast-to-coast love and admiration from their fans. And just as unique as each event is, so are the visionary creatives behind their production. One of them has come from the heart of Central Florida, and the other has crossed the ocean from his home in Ireland to be with you here this afternoon. Please, welcome to the stage, Universal's own Titans of Terror. Creative Director and Executive Producer of Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood, John Murdy, and Senior Director of Entertainment and Creative Development at Universal Orlando Resort, Michael Aiello. Midsummer Scream, welcome John Murdy and Michael Aiello.
Let's hear it! West Coast and East Coast. How many of you guys, show of hands, how many of you guys are gonna make the trip to both coasts this year? Right on. All right. I'm John Murdy. I'm creative director, executive producer of Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios Hollywood.
I am Mike Aiello, Senior Director of Creative Development for Universal Orlando Resort. What's this mean? What is this?
Oh, this is how this goes. Yeah. You know how this goes, right? By the pricking of my thumb, something wicked this way comes. Damn. You got anything?
Nope.
or every? Hold that thought. Okay? We'll get to that. Earlier, we solicited questions on X. Do this correctly.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. It's going well.
You guys did anything?
Universal Halloween Horror Nights.
Vortex leading you into the minds of the Wyatt Six. And then from there, I'll stop because I want you all to experience it.
Yeah, I do. I know a lot of times as fans, you guys are like, you need to know everything, you need to know everything. And I always think about, like, were you the kids at Christmas that just, like, found where your parents hid all the presents and you opened them all up, saw what you're going to get, and then wrapped them back up again? I did that one Christmas. I found my parents where they hid the presents, and I was so bummed that Christmas when it came to Christmas morning. So I think something should be a surprise. So you'll be surprised.
Yeah, but that is an interior shot of the house. That is not WWE, that's us.
Oh. It looks cool.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's this too.
And again, Bo Dallas, Uncle Howdy.
The movies. All right.
Let's bring to the stage Damion Leone, the writer, director, producer of Terrifier, and the producer Phil Falcone.
What's up, everybody? We love you back. Wow. So what was that? What makes Terrifier a good candidate for HHN?
Yes, why do you think Terrifier is a good candidate for HHN?
Art the Clown. He's a fun, sick, sadistic, twisted son of a bitch. I think it's, even for me, I mean, this is sort of the first time I'm like in your shoes and I get to go in this house and be chased and taunted by my own character, you know? Like, that's really exciting, actually, because on set, we don't have that relationship.
It's a different fear.
You know, it'd be funny if we gave them real weapons for when you come through.
What better way to go out, right?
How about you, Phil? What Terrifier movies is? We're going to do a little bit of a deep dive into Terrifier. Is that all right with you guys? Wait a minute, hold on. Do we have Terrifier fans in the audience? That's what makes Terrifier a great franchise for Halloween Horror Nights. All right, let's start with the concept. You know, the first thing we did is we all kind of got together and we talked. And, you know, Mike and I, we both gravitated towards this, which is the Funhouse from Terrifier 2. And I just learned this not that long ago, but would you explain this, guys?
Yeah, it doesn't exist. Yeah, so in Terrifier 2 you see this, and we did not have the money to build an actual scale facade. So I'm a fan of like really old school techniques that they don't really use anymore, so I wanted to use sort of a miniature forced perspective approach to doing this. So we really just built like a 3 by 2 foot facade, and then we used some digital effects to map it into, you know, like with a background plate. And it worked pretty cool.
Facade, by the way, for all of you, and I know you've seen this because you've retweeted it, but like, people ride the studio tour at our park all the time just so they can try to get a picture of this facade. So, you know, when we were talking, Mike and I, we really gravitated towards, let's have the Funhouse be not only the facade for the experience, but let's try to like take all of the great kills from the franchise and bring them to the Funhouse, even if it didn't take place in the movie that way. And that was kind of like our I think, Mike, is it fair to say that was like our first big idea for how we were going to attack this?
Absolutely. It was really, could we place the guests in an environment completely of Art's creation? And
what we're doing now, we're adding all the scrub grass and the dried plants and all of that stuff. But that's the Terrifier facade. And just to highlight a couple of things, when you're waiting out front, it's going to be the Terrifier theme music, and then you're going to hear like a radio, and I'm talking about Hollywood, you're going to hear the radio station kind of changing channels, static, hear a little blip of, the Clown Cafe theme song, and then it's going to land on a news report, and it's going to say, police are on the lookout for a tall, thin man wearing a black and white clown costume and carrying a large garbage bag. And while this news report is going on, there's two doors. The clown head door is the door you're going to be going through. But Art is going to appear standing behind that door. And then he's going to open the gate. And then he's going to come out. And I gave him another gate in the fence so he can get real up close and personal with all of you. And Mike?
ditto. Here's a scenic elevation of the facade in Orlando. We made one minor alteration to really sell that Art has taken it over. We painted over the clown that looks a lot like Jack the Clown and made it Art instead. So you can really, when you go into the house, you really get a sense that this is Art's world. He's now taken this fun house completely over. And then I think the next slide is the facade. There it is. That's it. One cool additive in the doorway that you're not going through, there on the right-hand side, that's a media wall that's going to give you a glimpse of several of the Terrifier characters. You're going to see Vicky, you're going to see little pale girl in there. So yeah, you're going to see all those characters kind of waiting for you on the inside.
Did you guys ever go through like Carney fun houses when you were kids? Like, let's start with this guy. And, you know, I'm sure, Damion, you've probably told this story a million times, but if you wouldn't mind, like, what was the inspiration for Art the Clown initially when you first came up with him?
Yeah, just making a short film, and I wanted to put a bunch of horror, sort of, you know, classic cliche characters in this short film that I could use as a calling card, and I wanted to see if I could do anything interesting with them and put my own spin, and I wanted to try and do something different with a killer clown. And when I was designing him, I said, he can't be anything like Tim Curry's Pennywise. So I didn't want him to be colorful, I didn't want him to speak, I wanted him to have weapons instead, and I sort of wanted to turn him into a slasher. And it was really just based around this one scene, which is the scene in the short film The Night Circle, which was then put into All Hallows Eve, just with Art terrorizing this woman in a train station. It was supposed to be a bus, and that's actually why that scene exists at the end of Terrifier 3. And then...
It's a fabulous scene, I might add.
Did you have something to do with that scene?
I might have had a little bit.
Tom the bus driver, ladies and gentlemen.
You like the old horror movies.
I do like horror movies, and I do like rom-coms.
Yeah, I'm gonna make plenty of things, for sure. And I was like, all right, I better write something else with this character. So then I made another short film called Terrifier, which is also in All Hallows Eve. And that's when I said, all right, I'm gonna really turn him into a slasher now and see, what this guy's really about. And then that's when I sort of realized that there was something special. I didn't imagine it would turn into this, but I said, this character has something. There's a charisma there. There's something special, and I need to keep going. I need to get this character into a feature somehow. So that 20-minute short film Terrifier was sort of the proof of concept, the calling card. And it took years to try and convince somebody to give me money to turn that into Terrifier the feature, until I met this guy right here, the only person to believe in me to give me the money to do it.
Give it up for Phil. Producers need love,
But you both have done something that many have tried over the last few decades that have not been able to do, which is create the next generation of slasher icons. And Art is a slasher icon now. That's fantastic. Totally.
Well, you gotta give it up for this man. I mean, that's a creation, and like I said many times, even though he hates to hear it, I'm not from the horror world. But when I saw this clown I was like, first of all, when he first mentioned the clown, I was like, I don't do clown movies, I ain't gonna do that shit. But when you see it, I was like, wow, this is pretty fucking wild. And when we were done shooting Terrifier 1, I was impressed. I gotta be honest, I was impressed because I had just done a movie and it cost me a couple of $100,000, and we did this one for $40,000, and there's so much more shit in there, and I'm like, holy crap. I said, I pissed away a lot of money on my film.
Well, truthfully, I mean, if
The house was more expensive, just so you know.
yeah.
Yes, it was.
I mean, if this works, the truth is it's because it's all coming from a very genuine, organic place from a diehard horror fan, and I've been one since I'm literally 3 years old. I've been watching these movies and idolizing characters like Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers, literally since I'm 3. So hopefully there's just something instinctual after I'm consumed so much of that, I mean, this is really what I birthed out. I mean, so that's a big part of it. And then obviously David, who has just brings such an incredible performance.
I have a question for the producer. How did you
come in? And David, I've said this many times, David was like the 6th person to come into the room, and as soon as I saw him physically, I was like, this is the guy. I'm like, please let this guy not just, be a raving lunatic or something. I'm like, yeah, I'll take, he doesn't have to do anything. He just looks so perfect. And especially I was looking for somebody thinner now, because the way I sculpted Art's face, he's sculpted to look kind of like a zombie. So I was like, he's gonna be great. And then Dave didn't have any size or anything. He just knew he was coming in for a killer clown role. And he said, well, what do I do? And I said, I don't have any lines. I said, no lines. I said, I just need to see you decapitate somebody, and you're having a very fun time doing it. You do it very gleefully. And then you can see his audition online. He was like, okay. And then he just flips the switch and he goes into almost like what you see as Art the Clown right now. It's almost identical. Yeah, and fantastic. Knew right then that it was gonna surpass like what I was even looking for. And it was just Phil and I in the room, and then he left, and I turned to Phil and I said, are we really looking for anything else? I was like, that's the guy, so let's bring him back, put the makeup on him, and have him do this all over again. We basically shut down the audition right there, and that was it, yeah.
Wow. So, let's talk about Art. So we always do character illustrations. They're done by our in-house artist, Lucas Colshaw. He's been doing these illustrations for years. You guys know his work. He's been doing it for years and years and years. These are just some of the iterations of Art the Clown you're going to experience in the house in Hollywood. We have our classic bloody Art. We have Art after he's scalped the woman and is wearing the hair. We have poopy Art. And of course, Santa Art. And then this is kind of a combination of Orlando and Hollywood. But Mike, did you have anything on that?
No, I was just going to say, I mean, it really is about the multiple ways we need to bring this character to life for a house that has to run, the number of nights it has to run.
Yeah.
You've got prosthetic versions, you've got mask versions. You're seeing two on the sides there, 2 new iterations of the character that our team's created with Damion's guidance.
Yep. Let's talk about Vicky. Damion, can you explain like the character of Vicky, like where that came from? She's evolved.
She has evolved, yes. It was, again, taking traditional tropes and then seeing if I can do something interesting or spin it in a new direction. And I don't think I'd ever really seen a final girl go through this transition where she's the supposed final girl in the original, but then she turns into a victim and then she turns into a villain. So it's been one of the most fun arcs through the entire franchise, and especially to just watch Samantha find this character and become more and more evil and sadistic as this goes, and see how much she enjoys that element. And this was like a really challenging makeup that also evolved through the course of the movies. It was very crude originally. It was totally different materials. And then by the time we got to Terrifier 2, I resculpted everything, made new teeth. And this is very, very difficult makeup for her to wear because she's virtually blind. So obviously one eye is completely covered. The other eye has an acrylic eye that plugs into the prosthetic and it has a tiny pinhole for her to see through. And then the dentures they go, obviously they clip into her teeth, but they have these gums that push her real gums as far up as possible, that twists her mouth out of shape, and then we basically glue the prosthetic into that, so she's stuck looking like that, and blind for, 10 hours or so, it's not easy, yeah.
And Samantha's one of the most amazing people you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
Solid through and through. She bitched a little, but solid. She drove me crazy.
Can you blame her?
I can. She drove me crazy on 3, but well worth it.
And what you're seeing on screen right now, the character design, but also like the mask as it was evolving. Yeah, we haven't figured out the vision thing yet. We're gonna have to figure that out. I'm looking at it going, okay, where is she looking through? Vision isn't important.
Just feel around.
And then there's the little pale girl. How did this character come to be in the second movie?
I wanted a character to embody the evil that resurrects the boogeyman, which is something you don't typically see in these movies, right? It's just the boogeyman trope. They come back from the dead and you don't really know why, but what's bringing them back, what force or what. So I thought this would be the reason why it's this little creepy girl is actually based on this old short Fellini film from an Edgar Allan Poe anthology movie called Spirits of the Dead. And there's this little devil pale girl in it, and then I started seeing all girls starting to dress up as art and do their variation. I was like, I have to quickly do my own version of this before it's out of my hands. It was like the first Halloween when people started dressing up, and I started seeing that, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna make my own little version, because the original pale girl was supposed to look like her, obviously, but not be dressed as Art the Clown. She was going to be in this sort of sundress and have a flower in her hair, and then I quickly was like, no, it's going to be a female little Art the Clown. Yeah. And you will find out a lot more about this character in the next one. Yeah.
So, for us in Hollywood, Little Pale Girl is a special effect. We have a scene called Dolly Molly, and when you come in, it's the sequence in the film where I think they're dental tools that are sitting on and she's just ripped all the flesh off her face, and as you come into the scene, it's an animated effect where there's a little sensor you're going to trip, and then she does a 180, her head turns 180 to look at you.
In Orlando, we've got live performers that are going to play Little Pale Girl, in both versions, both iterations, in her most ghostly sense and then her most mauled sense. We have team members right now who are just so excited about playing this character. They absolutely are loving it.
Wait, can I just say, everything you're saying, this is all them. This is what they presented to me for this house.
Yeah.
And I'm just, and I was just blown away. I mean, this is everything that you could possibly want and more put into this. If you love this franchise, you are going to absolutely be blown away by what they have in this experience. Yeah, really.
And speaking of final girls, Sienna Shaw, and she's such a badass. We had to find a place for her to be in the house as well. And again, I'm just going to show you, this is where we start. This is the character design. We're going to have her show up in the full, cosplay outfit from the second movie.
And then this is our in-house costuming team in Orlando adapted this look, and here it is. You're going to see her in the flesh in the house, Sienna Shaw, and it is just an awesome costume. They did such an amazing job replicating it.
I already feel bad for this performer backstage because, sorry, it's a visual. They're going to be like, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. But you have to have the wings.
I hope you have a lot of duct tape handy.
Let's talk about what makes Terrifier Terrifier. The kills. And I was really interested, when we first announced this, I was getting all these questions you guys aren't going to go, you guys aren't going to go. Oh yeah, we are. And let's start with one of the most infamous things. No! The hacksaw kill from Terrifier 1. What sick person thought up this particular kill?
I wanted to see something I hadn't seen in a movie before.
I hadn't seen that. Can't unsee it now. That was the entire idea, was just I want to do something I've never seen in the movie before?
Yeah, and it was, well, obviously me and Phil did the makeup effects in part one, so that was like, that was something cool that I had in my pocket, was knowing how to do these effects and not, having to worry about a ratings board or anything. We were so under the radar, we could do anything, and I said, this movie, at that point, no following really whatsoever, except, there was a nice group of people who really enjoyed All Hallows Eve, but, for the most part, nobody knew what this movie was or who this character was. And I said, if people are gonna watch, why are they gonna watch this movie when they can watch, a $20 million Hollywood horror movie? And I said, we have to put things in this movie that they're afraid to put into their movie. And I said, I've seen a million slasher movies. I have to come up with something really cool that I haven't seen before. And actually, I started investigating medieval torture methods to see if anything piqued my interest. And I saw, and a few things did, and I saw a picture, a drawing of someone hung upside down, and two people at the end of this giant saw cutting this. Yeah, it's very famous. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I said, could I pull that off and have him do that alone with the girl? And I was like, yeah, I think I can do that. I mean, if I have the audience at that point, I was like, they'll stick with me for the rest of the way, or maybe I'll lose them all at that point. But yeah, no, we did it, and seriously, like, huge, kudos and credit to Catherine Corcoran for going through that. I mean, that took a lot, and I had discussions with her during that, before we shot that scene, and she said, listen, if we're gonna do this, like, this has to be the coolest thing. Like, don't make me regret doing this. Like, if you're gonna do it, make it look super cool and make it be something memorable. And I think we did it. So, pretty cool.
Oh, you did it.
I gotta say, I think all the kills with all the girls, they all had.
They all brought it.
They were brutal areas that we shot in, and
just like the environments.
Yeah, the environments. That's what I'm talking about, and it was tough, and they all were troopers. You can't make them away. It's not just me and him. There's a whole crew of people. I mean, the first one, it was like 5 people on the crew. Second one, it was like 9. And but everybody wore a lot of hats and did a lot of things. Without them, we couldn't do it. But the actors and actresses, my God, what they went through, and evidently it's worth it.
Who cleans up the blood? Who cleans up the blood when you do a scene?
We all do.
You all, like, literally all clean up the blood?
Oh, literally. As a matter of fact, I quit because I was mopping the shower scene. I'm mopping, and he's over there goofing around, and I said, the next person that walks through this fucking blood, and I gotta clean it again, I'm fucking out of here. And he starts laughing. I said, that's it, I'm out. Dropped the mug and walked out.
I'll post it. I have it somewhere.
So what we're showing here, so we have a scene, it's called, in Hollywood, it's called Silly Saws. And it's just all different kinds of ways that Art the Clown can saw people in half, including the classic kill from Terrifier 1. So this is the concept drawing we did for that kill. And of course, you're going to be showered with blood. You guys are really freaked out about this, aren't you? I mean, you're like really freaked out about this blood thing, aren't you? I get questions all the time. You're like, well, like, should I think about what I'm wearing? Should I bring a poncho? Bring it on! And I'm just not going to answer it. I'm sorry. You just come, check it out, and what happens, happens.
Just go with it. Just go with it.
So, in this scene, we also have 2 little kids on a teeter-totter animated effect going up and down with their heads cut off. Because why not? And here they are. We even did a drawing for it. And then we've got a table saw, and Art is just going to literally saw a person in half. And of course, you're going to get showered in blood. And Mike's got a gag of his own here. Go ahead, Mike.
So we mentioned before about not only do we want to feature the kills, we also want to surround you in the kills. So because this is Art's Funhouse, we created a corridor in Orlando that on the ceiling, you can see here, are all the hacksaws moving above your head and sawing bodies in half as you're walking through this corridor with blood spraying all around you as you're going through. So, and this is a trend in most of this house about how do we take that kill and then how do we physically affect the guest with it. And And this is one of the reasons or ways that we're doing that.
I don't know. Looking at these pictures, I think I need Depends when I go through them.
We can hook you up, Phil. It's all right. We'll give you universal branded Depends. How about that?
I'm going to hold you to that.
I think I just got a new sponsor.
Merchandise right now is going, wait a second.
I think when Henry Ford, came up with the idea for the assembly line, he probably didn't really anticipate where that would go in the future. Oh yeah, Allie's death, Terrifier 2. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? All right. So we're gonna do it. We're gonna do that scene with the bleach and and the salt and the whole deal. But there's a twist. Before you get there, you're going to have to go through the scene we call barrels of fun. Okay? Bleach barrels stacked up either side of you. As you start to walk through, you're going to hear, the Tommy gun going off. The barrels are going to light up, and we're pumping in the smell of bleach. And then you're going to get showered in bleach. And then we reveal it's all Art with his Tommy gun.
We're doing the same thing. It's happening. But here's a photo of the house. Here's some of the bleach barrels that are going to be spraying bleach all over you.
That looks hygienic. And, okay. I have to say, Terrifier 3, so we were already working on this. And Terrifier 3 was, coming out in the movie theater. And, you guys know I live in Ireland most of the year. And it was like a Tuesday night. And I was like, okay, I gotta go watch Terrifier 3. I can't wait till somebody hooks me up with a link where I could have watched this.
Stop begging.
All right. So it was literally a Tuesday night, and I went to on the website of my local cinema, and it was like, I don't know, like a 9 o'clock show or something, and I looked at it and I'm like, there's one seat left on a Tuesday night in the northwest corner of Ireland. I'm like, really? And so I bought that ticket. Only 2 people walked out, and everybody else hung for the whole thing. but when I watched Terrifier 3, the mall Santa scene, I knew we had to do something with that. So okay, again, inspiration for that. Did you always want to blow up Santa, or?
No, it's just how do you kill as many kids at one time as possible?
We've gone to a dark place.
I'd like to point out that Phil and Damion do not work for Universal Destinations and Experiences. Thank you.
Well, it's been a good 20 years of Horror Nights, but I think I'm going to be hanging it up after this. Chris Williams is my art director, production designer. Chris has been doing Horror Nights with me for 20 years. So this is him and his team, his art department. They've created that entire, Santa set. You're gonna go into Christmas, except all of the elves are, beheaded and disemboweled, and their intestines are stringing the Christmas trees, and their heads are the tree toppers. And then after you go through this, we're gonna take you through this like hedge maze of Christmas, and it's all the Terrifier, it's a Terrifier Christmas, all of that is playing, and it's just gonna rain blood, so literally, we're just not giving you a choice. Dry path, wet, no, just all of you go in the same place. And of course, Santa Art will be attacking you with his chainsaw the whole time.
Yeah, ditto. I mean, we're doing exactly what John just described. Here's some scenic elevations done by our amazing team back in Orlando. Manuel Cordero is one of our designers working on this house. A light maze there. You can see some of the bodies that are strung up. I will say, and this is a record, this house has the most bodies ever in a haunted house in the history of Horror Nights in Orlando. That is a fact. That is a fact.
Yeah, there's a lot of dead elves in that. Well, in some ways it's kind of like our revenge against Christmas. Like, I don't know about you, Mike, but when I come out to LA every year, and you go to Home Depot and you're like, yeah, look at all this Halloween stuff. Last year, I was trying to find like a costume for my kids because they came out for Halloween, and I went to like, I don't know, Target or something, and it was already Christmas, and it was like not even Halloween yet. And I thought at that moment, if I could get my revenge against Christmas, I'm gonna do it. And luckily, your film, when I saw Terrifier 3, I was like, oh, perfect. Oh God. If you thought Texas Chainsaw Massacre smelled bad, if you thought The Exorcist Believer smelled bad, if you thought the bathroom scene in Insidious with the kid puking smelled bad, these guys, you know, they did the work for us. There, in the first Terrifier movie, there's that scene in the pizza parlor.
No.
I don't know if you would care to explain to our audience the inspiration.
Explain yourself.
Yes, explain what Art did in the bathroom.
I never saw a slasher like take a shit before, so how do I make my guy different? And it just became a running theme, though, you know, through the motif, so to speak, through the movies.
I do have a very specific question, because I've been trying to figure this out ever since I like watched the movie and went through it. What the hell is that in the sink? It's got teeth, it's got eyes, it looks like poop.
It is, it's a poop monster.
I can't wait to show you tomorrow. I'm going to take him, you know, we're going to walk through the house tomorrow, and my props team built that poop monster, and it's awesome. It's so cute. I could market this with like a bath toy or something. I don't know. How was that filming that scene? Was it awful?
In the Fright Factory, it was awful because it was fucking cold.
It was cold.
And blood and cold doesn't go well.
And Hershey's
How about poop and cold? How does poop do in the cold?
It's chocolate, so it's okay. I'll tell you what grossed me out was when we shot the pizzeria scene with the shit, because that was a real active pizzeria. Matter of fact, I was making pizzas in the front while they were shooting the scene.
They didn't even close for you?
They closed for us, yeah.
Needless to say, they're not operational anymore.
The health board would have something to say about that.
We shot that in an active pizzeria, and we didn't hold back.
Did they give you pizza at least?
I made the pizza.
Oh, you made the pizza.
We were still cleaning up when they opened the next day, and people started coming in to eat. Yeah, crazy. And so much blood got into the dough mixer, and everything. It was crazy.
It was brutal. I felt terrible because I always say, however we go into a
Yeah,
place,
you gotta leave it the way.
No, gotta leave it better.
Oh.
You gotta leave it better than when you go in. We failed miserably on that one.
All right, well, let's share some of the love then. So this is the scenic elevations for the bathroom scene. You know, for us, the way we kind of have it laid out is, and we thought, well, you know, Funhouse, you know, should have a food place, and then, you know, there's always a place you can grab a bite, and then, you know, there's got to be a bathroom. So it was kind of a natural flow for us to go to the bathroom. So while you're in the bathroom, we thought it would be fun to have like little Easter eggs in the stalls. So there's kills inspired by Terrifier 1, 2, and 3 as you're going in. So we got the dude from the pizza parlor who gets his head turned into a human jack-o'-lantern in stall number 1. We got the mashed potato kill from Terrifier 2 in stall number 2. And we have that unfortunate construction worker that Art rips all the flesh off his face in stall number 3. But then batting cleanup is Art. And as you're coming in, he's writing his name on the wall in poop. And if you look at that character design, his little, you know, clown gloves are just caked in it. So,
No.
and the smell will be pumped in as well.
We're just replicating what we saw.
And Mike, that's a picture of yours.
And here's the interior of the house in Orlando. There is the poop monster, as I think it's called now. And yes, we're doing the same thing. We're replicating all the kills. We are doing mashed potato kill, but we've replaced the potatoes. with something else.
Does it have the same consistency as potatoes?
It might.
One request, any chance we could turn the smell of poop into chocolate? Without the smell.
Not a chance, Phil.
Ah, shit.
Phil, I gotta tell you, like, we've only really done a poop scene once. So we did it the first year, 2006. We had a house called Asylum, and it was an original house, and we had a scene like that. And I would come home from work at night, and my wife would go, "Why do you smell like poop?" And I was like, "Oh my God, it's the." I had to throw the jacket away because it was bad. And there's also, I should mention, getting in and out of the bathroom are underwear hanging in your path with. There's been a little accident. So I'm sorry.
What I think we're trying to say is this is the most highbrow Horror Nights has ever been.
Yeah.
Well, I only hope that my family does not see this tape until after they go through this, because there's going to be not only poop, there's going to be throw up, because they are not holding that in.
We can hook you up on that too. Well, let's go from poop to
Segue.
Oh, yeah.
John, what are you doing here?
I'm trying to increase the sales for their vendors out in the lobby.
The food should have been first, and then the bathroom. Well.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So all of these, if you go to these like carnivals, that set up, there's always food. So we thought, of course, the food should be the Clown Cafe. So these are just scenic elevations of some of the elements you're going to see in the Clown Cafe. We built Art's food trailer. We built the whole thing. We built that playground set with all the dead kitties. We did that lovely United Colors of Bennington mural, whatever that is. And the Clown Cafe host there's an Easter egg. You'll see her slumped in the corner. This is post-Art blasting her with the blowtorch, so she's burnt to a crisp. The music will be playing. The kid with the Art Krispies cereal, that's going to be in there. And then there's that weird, I don't know if it's a hack box or what the hell that is, with the heart in it and all of the maggots and stuff. And we
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what it is.
Is it? Right on.
For lack of what we don't know.
So that's in there too, but that's a little, people like to touch stuff in Horror Nights. Don't try to touch the heart, because you'll get a surprise if you do. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. 10,000 volts. I'm just kidding. 10,000 volts will go, no. But it's a little interactive surprise for you in there. Michael?
And here's some photos of the Orlando house. There's the mural from Clown Cafe. There's not the final version, but that's what the house lights on. There's our Art Krispies kid there in a swing set. And then also in Orlando, and I think maybe Hollywood as well, there's the Clown Cafe. Our F&B actually created Clown Cafe, and you can actually go there during the event and have Terrifier-themed food from the Clown Cafe.
That's in Orlando.
In Orlando, Clown Cafe. I hope you enjoy it.
We're just serving a cereal bowl full of razor blades, broken glass, and mealworms. Really? Okay. All right. Now we do feel like we should warn you of a couple of things. Okay. I'm gonna do my warning for Hollywood, and Mike's gonna do his warning for Orlando. Don't go out the chicken exit. Okay. You might encounter a chicken exit in the house. It'll look just like that. Look for that chicken, or actually, I think that's a rooster. It's a rooster chicken exit. You might end up backstage if you go out the chicken exit. And you might encounter some things you're not supposed to encounter. So if you see the chicken exit, at your own risk, okay? And it's a little surprise for you guys, okay? So I'm just gonna leave it at that.
In Orlando, I think we've gone on record saying this is going to be the wettest house we've ever produced in the history of the event, and we're not lying. We're giving you two paths in Orlando. You can make a choice. You can go to the left-hand side, which is our dry path, if you choose. I agree. Boo to that. Why would you want to have less of an experience? Or you can go right, and you're going to go into what we're calling our Symphony of Blood. In this picture you're seeing, this is our finale. What you're not seeing is Art on a second level. Underneath him is a blood waterfall. If you move to the right-hand side, you will be entering into our Symphony of Blood. And I'm not kidding, you are going to get drenched.
Ooh.
I'm talking front row Jurassic Park.
Okay.
But you have a choice. You have a choice. The direction to the team when we first started the creative was, can we create a finale that feels like a car wash of blood? And that is what this is.
I'm not giving you a choice, I'm sorry. But wait! There's more. I'm hearkening back to the beginning of this panel when we said, by the pricking of my thumb, something wicked this way comes. Do you want some? I mean, you've been through all the announcements at this point. There surely couldn't be anything else we could possibly announce. I mean, with this slate, it's so stacked. What else could we possibly do for you people? Well, okay, I'm gonna stand up for this. So, you know Where's Waldo, right? I always thought it would be fun to do Where's Waldo like in a theme park. Except instead of Waldo, it's Art the Clown. So as you're traversing, if I may use that word.
You just did.
As you're traversing the theme park, Art the Clown is out there, okay? I'm not gonna tell you where he is. You might be in a store. Yeah, you might be in a store, and you might turn around and he might be right behind you. You could go down and, to the Universal Plaza and plop down and go, hey, it's time for a drink or it's time for some food.
No.
Look across from you and there's somebody just mad dogging you. Right? You could go down the Starway down to the lower lot of the park. He might be down there too. He could be anywhere. So what we're doing, and we're doing this on both coasts, is we were like, it's awesome to have a Terrifier haunted house, but we weren't satisfied with that. We were like, Art's such an awesome character. And we really truly believe this, guys, Damion and Phil. I mean, Mike and I grew up on Freddy, Jason, Leatherface, Michael Myers. We were like smack dab in the middle of the slashers. And there really hasn't been a worthy slasher icon until Art came around in a long, long time. And we want to pay tribute to that as much as we possibly can. So these pictures up here, they're kind of suggestive of what you might see in the park. I don't know, Mike, if you want to add something else to this.
No, I mean, it is exactly what you said. We want Art to be everywhere we can possibly put him, and also never tell you when that's going to happen. You will encounter him when you least expect it. And that's the really fun thing, and that is the character. He's unpredictable. Yes. So we're proud that you all let us do this as well. And everything we're talking about here, Art in the Park, the house, is our loving tribute to the work that the two of you and your teams did to create this amazing franchise.
Yeah, give it up for him.
I'm used to it.
Might be at your hotel right now.
Surrounded by this guy. But seriously, just for embracing exactly what this franchise is and what you guys love about it and what it's known for, it was the coolest thing, because there's a lot of times we're presented with opportunities, but then people are like, but you can't do this, you gotta stay away from that, we don't like this, and it's like, well, then it's not really Terrifier anymore, So they embraced everything, and what you just saw is virtually what they presented to us at the very beginning, and I was like, guys, just go for it. This is too good to be true, honestly. So thank you, it really is the greatest honor, and thank all you guys for your amazing support. It means the world, honestly.
I'd like to add to that just a little bit. Again, if it wasn't for the fans, we're not here. If it wasn't for you guys, we're not getting to see this work of art. And I gotta say, out of all the people we worked with, I've never seen Damion so on board with what they came up with. Usually it's like, you know, my motto is close is good, Damien's is like bullshit. And I've never seen him agree so many times, so fast, like, yeah, that's cool, yeah, that's cool, yeah, that's cool. So they were doing the right thing here.
Hey, one other thing about the in-park Art the Clowns. Anybody have tickets for RAP? Yeah! Well, even the RIP lounge is not safe. I'm just telling you. Like, you're gonna go in there and get your lovely buffet dinner, and yeah.
He's there.
That's not safe either, just so you know, okay? More to come. All right, it is audience participation time. When you came in today, I believe they gave you all an Art the Clown mask. You guys got it?
Yeah.
We're gonna do a selfie, okay? I love you. Cool. Here we go. All right, Phil, that's for you. Damion, that's for you. Art, you don't get one because you already have the face. Okay. So we're gonna turn around, face the audience. Put them on.
Oh gosh.
Everybody, all of you, now! For Damion Leone, Falcone, Art the Clown. Thank you, gentlemen, for being with us today. We greatly appreciate it. We got one. We're not totally done. If you leave, you're not going to get a prize. Okay? We're not done. Well, you guys, if you want, we're going to give away some tickets. We want to hang out? Cool. Okay. Fan appreciation time. And, you know, what we said